Hello, I'm David Owens, University of Delaware's Extension Entomologist for field and vegetable crops. And today we're standing in front of a sorghum variety trial to look at how different varieties respond to a relatively new pest at Delmarva called the sugarcane aphid. It's a small aphid that was introduced into the country in 2012 down in the Texas Rio Grande Valley area and has since been spreading north. Here in Delaware, we grow anywhere from a very few amount to a fairly sizable amount of acreage. Last year is close to 9,000 acres of sorghum. And this sugarcane aphid comes up fairly late in the season, right when our latest plant sorghum is pushing head to anywhere to the soft dough stage. But this is also when sorghum is susceptible to aphid injury, especially in hot, dry weather. So some of the varieties of sorghum that are grown in southern states have been identified as being resistant or tolerant to these aphids. And so the thresholds are much higher on those varieties. I think we're far enough north that this aphid, in the right conditions and the right planting dates, could cause problems to the crop. But if we have the right variety that's more able to handle those aphids, might not be an issue. So that's the purpose of this variety trial. We've got 8 different varieties donated generously by Pioneer, DeKalb, and Bayer. Dynagrow, DeKalb, Pioneer. And so half of these plants are going to get treated for aphids when they show up, and the other half will not. So we'll get an idea of how the different varieties yield with and without aphid pressure. The other pest of concern in sorghum that need to be looking out for, especially now, is corn earworm. And Texas A&M has a good earworm threshold calculator on their website to take into account the number of small, medium, and large-sized worms, your estimated heads per acre, and the value of that sorghum. But in general, 1 to 2 earworms per head can cause a lot of damage and severe yield loss. The way we sample for corn earworm is by shaking heads into a bucket to dislodge worms and then counting the number of worms in that bucket after shaking about 50 heads in the field. For sugarcane aphid, you'll want to look at a number of leaves, kind of a mid canopy or lower, and get an idea of how many leaves are infested, how many hot spots you'll see. With sugarcane aphid, you will come into hot spots in which the leaves are slick with honeydew, and those plants are heavily infested. The hot spot might only start as one heavily infested plant. So we've got a couple of thresholds. In the flowering to soft dough stage, it's 30% of plants infested with areas of honeydew, some hot spots in the field. Or another threshold is around 40 to 100 aphids per leaf. So that's how we monitor for sorghum. Bottom line is, this is no longer quite the plant and forget crop that it once was, especially with the aphids coming in. At the end of the season, we'll have all of our trial summaries posted onto the UD Pest Management Extension website under Research and Demonstration Results. Also on that website, you can go back and you can look at our trial summaries from 2012 to 2019, going back to my predecessor, Joanne Whalen.